What's going on, YouTube family? How we doing? Hopefully had an incredible week. So I've been journaling now for around 18 months, 24 months. I've kind of dabbled with it here and there, but I've never really taken it super seriously. It's kind of been one of those things I had lacked consistency with. So in May of 2022, I decided to get consistent with it and structure it into my routine. I've since journaled for 100 days. Now, a lot of you have asked me previously in previous videos on Instagram, how do I journal? What do I journal? Why do I journal? What do you write? All these sorts of things. So I figured it's probably best for me to just drop a video on it and go over my insights, shed some light on the topic, and hopefully it can help you. So you may ask, why should I bother journaling? Journaling is surprisingly good for us. It has many mental health benefits. I'm always one for kind of diving into self-development, self-growth. How can I be better? How can I perform better? There are also a bunch of entrepreneurs who swear by journaling, many who I have a lot of respect for and admire, and they have said that it's changed their life. So again, this is more evidence backing up, oh, maybe this is something I want to dabble with. I committed to journaling for 100 days, and here's my key takeaways that I took from doing this process, and it's something that I will continue to do and implement now. It's part of my routine, and I actually really enjoy it. But how do I do it? So of course, you have the devices in our pocket. Most of us have one of these, and you also have a laptop or a computer or a PC, which you can of course journal with as well. There are many digital apps that you can use. You can also just pick up your phone and use the notes. You can also buy a cheap notepad off of Amazon. Some of them retail for sort of £20, depending on the paper. If you want certain types of paper, if you want certain formats, if you want a certain layout, they can be a little bit more pricey. You need a pen, you could use a biro. At the moment I'm using part-time YouTuber Academy pen supplied from Ali Abdal, and I'm also using Ali's productivity planner, which is really good. I was gifted this planner by Ali when I attended the YouTube course. Now this is a productivity planner, things that you're grateful for, most important task of the day, a to-do list, but actually called a might to-do list, so you're not over cramming your day with too much rubbish and junk. You have a nice brain dump area, and then you have one thing I learned today and your most story-worthy moment. This has been a real game changer for me. One, because I can practice gratitude actually in written form rather than just in my mind. Also, the most important task has been great. I have a Notion, which I've shared before, where I do write the to-do lists and stuff, but actually again, physically writing it down, I've found I'm much more likely to stick to it, and I have this open on my desk throughout the day, and it's just allowed me to kind of glimmer over and go, oh, I haven't done that or whatever. And 9 times out of 10 it'll be something like, if there's one task I have to do today that I want to achieve, what is it? So if it's like, I want to make a YouTube video, that's what will go down there. And then underneath I'll have a might to-do list, where I may write things down such as create a new reel, do some back testing, or call a friend, or I want to schedule in a call, or I've got a call. I also use it to schedule in things that I do have coming up, so kind of like a calendar. It's just a habit I've created. So if you are interested in one of these, there is a link in the description. This is not an affiliation, but Ali, if you're watching, hook me up, let's do something together, it'd be great. I do then also have another journal, which I got off Amazon, just again, A5 paper, nothing special, nothing crazy. This one obviously has a pen attachment, and you can carry it around with you. If you're going out and you've obviously packed in a bag, you could drop this in there. This one doesn't have that, and this one, like I said, this one's more for me sort of scheduling my day / the odd brain dump stuff, which usually is around trading, whereas this is where I will just sort of open the page and I will just write, and I will just write anything. And this is kind of leading into that topic of, people always ask me, what do you journal? How do you do it? What do you do? Now, like I said before, there's no specific preference to, you have to journal this, you must journal that, include this. I'll do my morning routine, and then when I'm having a coffee and something to eat, I'm at the table downstairs, or if I'm at my desk, I usually will just pick this up and I will just start writing, and I will just write my thoughts. It can be anything from anything that's on my mind. A big question I ask myself is, how do you actually feel? Trying to be present in the moment. Where am I headed? What is my purpose? I go quite deep into some things. Some days I just go, what do I want for dinner? What do I fancy for lunch? Or what's coming up in the week? What am I excited for? What am I worried about? Anything that I can think of, I'll just write. And I try and do a couple of pages a day. It doesn't have to be, it could be a couple of sentences. And again, like I say, I will also use this as a brain dump, and I will bullet point things. You start to realize repetition of things that you talk about, and it can help you identify underlying emotional triggers, underlying stresses, things that are worrying you, things that perhaps you want to work on that you wouldn't know if you didn't journal, right? Which is where it's been a real aha moment for me, because perhaps you feel a certain way, I feel stressed. You'll start to dig into, why do you feel stressed? What's causing the stress? And then you can break down and brainstorm the reasons behind the stress, which then can allow you to actually eliminate and discover what's causing it, to then get to the root of the problem, to perhaps look to fix it, to improve you and your mental health and your well-being, as opposed to bottling it all up. I found it's a great way to just dump everything on a page. It can just be a load of gobbledygook. It doesn't really matter as long as you're getting your thoughts down. Remember, they're personal to you. You're not showing them to anyone, so it doesn't matter what you write and as deep as you want to write it. Obviously, keep your journal safe. It's really allowed me to identify common occurrences, and when I'm trading, I will be writing down my feelings and thoughts in a trade, before a trade, during a trade, or just watching the markets. So for example, one thing I've always got in a habit of doing now is when I come to the chart, I'll write down how I feel at the top of the brain dump page. So I will say, let's say the night before I didn't have the best sleep, kids had me up, so I'd had broken sleep. Now I know if I have broken sleep, I'm a big fan of sleep, the likelihood is my performance could be bad in the morning. Perhaps I didn't have a great workout, or yoga didn't go so well, or I didn't have a good meditation. I'll write that down, so I'm already aware that you're not feeling the best. And if I don't feel right, I will make a decision to write, not trading today, simply spectating, simply paper trading, forward testing, don't want to risk live capital, not feeling right. And that is a massive step in the right direction towards self-awareness, to go, I don't want to trade. Trading is a performance-based sport. I'm not feeling right in myself, so I won't do it. And I've made that decision, and I'll be at peace with that. The trade could be coming. So far, waiting for more development. I'm patient, so I'll jot that down. Then I'll be like, right, executed a trade. It fit my plan. Happy to accept the risk. Then I'll write, do I actually accept the risk? Am I okay with this taking me out? Will it affect me? Will it affect my day? Writing down the emotions I feel in a trade. And everybody's can vary, and everybody at some point will experience these different emotional patterns and different feelings. And look, it's completely normal. And remember, the key isn't to get rid of these emotions. It's to understand them. Emotions are biologically wired into us as a human. And I think a lot of us have searched for, I have before, to eliminate them. I don't want to be feared. Fear's for pussies. I'm not scared, or I can't feel a certain way. No, you can feel a way, and it's okay to feel that way, but you can learn to understand the triggers that cause it, and then you can learn to have a process and a system in place to prevent it from taking over. You know, when all of a sudden everything's going great, and then your mind just gets taken over like you've been hijacked. You do a madness, the hijacking relieves, and you're like, how did that happen? What did I just do? And that is where you're trying to put things in place to prevent that from happening. As soon as you identify it, sweaty, clammy hands, I'm like, hang on a minute, I could be seeing an emotional response. Right, what do I need to do in order to not have that emotional response, get hijacked and do the thing I don't want to do? So it's been really eye-opening for me to be able to do that, because without writing the things down that I kept feeling and kept seeing, I wouldn't have understood it. I would have just gone, oh, it's part of trading. You need to grow up, you need to man up. No, you need to understand what you're dealing with. To summarize, the key here is not to hold back. Don't hold back. Don't think, oh, I'm going to protect my ego. I'm going to protect my pride. I don't want to write certain things down. I feel less of a person. No, write them down, because it's the only way you're going to actually see progression and not remain stagnant. And a lot of the time, we can identify when we're stagnant and when we're perhaps not performing based on what we write, because you will naturally just write. And once you start, you'll be amazed how quickly you fill up pages, and then you're going to be like, oh, there's quite a lot of things in my mind. And then simply what it's about is repeat this process, right? Understand the trigger points, understand if there's any pain points, understand the similarities of whatever you're writing down. So if you write down, I had FOMO, don't just leave it at FOMO. Discover why you had FOMO, what causes FOMO, what are the reasons behind FOMO, and what does FOMO mean to you? Diving into that, you're going to understand it a lot deeper than if you just write, had FOMO. Had greed. Why did you have greed? What does greed mean to you? Why do you think you had greed? What could cause greed in your life right now? What's going on? Right? And then you start to actually go, oh, actually, it's because I need money for this, or I haven't got money for that, or the kids need this, or do you know what I mean? You start to dive into things a lot deeper. My key takeaways from journaling, funny enough, one of the biggest ones has been creativity. You know those funny skits you see where all of a sudden I'm fighting myself with a bat, or I'm getting taken down by a SWAT officer? A lot of those have come just from journaling. I've been writing my thoughts in the morning, and an idea will ping, and I'm just like, oh, that's a sick idea. And I'll just jot it down, and then that's how the creative process starts. I found that unpacking my thoughts onto paper has freed up a lot more storage in my head to be more creative, to be more productive, and to deliver the things I want to focus on, because it's almost like, it's like therapy, I guess. You're putting your thoughts on paper, you're understanding, you're acknowledging them, but you're relieving that pressure in your mind to focus on other things. Now, another thing I noticed is I put a lot of pressure on myself for the girls having everything. So I've always had this, I need to give the girls more than I ever had, I need to give them the best lifestyle, I need to do this, I need to do more, I need to be better. And while that's great, and you should always strive for success, you also have to ensure that you're not sacrificing the here and now, right? And in the pursuit of trying to achieve a goal, you shouldn't ruin the beauty of the now and what you've already achieved. And I think I realized that perhaps I wasn't present enough because I was always focused on next. And when I look at the girls from the outside in, they've got everything they need and they're living a great life. So I need to ensure that I'm present and part of that. I wouldn't have realised that if I hadn't journaled. It's been an incredible eye-opener for me, and it's made me realise and understand myself a lot better as a person, which, like I say, I wouldn't have done had I not started journaling properly, rather than just, you've got that thing, right, of do the work, do the real work, or fake work, where you think you're doing the things, you're pretending you're doing the things, but you're not doing them, and you know you're not. Do real work on it, and that's why for me 100 days consistently doing it was almost a goal. But I will continue to do this now moving forward because it is a part of my routine. Anyone looking to get started, you can literally start right now. You can buy a pen, you can buy a notepad, you might even have one lying around, and you can just start right after this video, or even during the video. You could have picked up your pen and paper and you could have wrote down whatever it is you wanted, whatever's on your mind, and you can make it a habit from today rather than pushing it away. The main thing is consistency here. Remember, this isn't some secret sauce. I'm not selling you some snake oil saying do journaling for a day, you'll be a multi-millionaire tomorrow. It's not that kind of thing. But if you want to grow your self-awareness, if you want to understand yourself better, if you want to perhaps eliminate stresses, worries and feelings, and you want to learn more about yourself, then it's an incredible way to get started. It will allow you to be more creative, more productive, you'll feel better. That kind of summarizes this video. If you like my content, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. There's still 45% of you that aren't subscribed, but you're here every week. Do me a favor, just hit the button. Like, I don't know what you're waiting for. You could have hit it by now, so just give it a smack. And yeah, I hope you all have an incredible rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace and love, gang.